Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's me, Rustic PvPs, back with another video. So today I'm going to be telling you guys how to get better at, Fortnite zero build with this new, zero build thing, and also help you get adjusted to the Chapter 3, Season 3 meta. So, really fast, we're going to first start off with drop spot. I recommend you get familiar with all the drop spots. My three favorite drop spots are Tilted Towers, Logjam Lumberyard, I think is what it's called, and then Condo Canyon. Those are like my three main spots. So, Logjam if I'm doing bad for a few games, Condo Canyon if it's closest, and then Tilted Towers, because why not? But anyways, now we're gonna get started also with so I recommend for some good places to start off. Like if you're bad at fighting, I recommend landing at the outskirts of the map, maybe the temple behind the Daily Bugle, or what's that place called again? Logjam Lumberyard. Maybe some of those new locations, specifically Greasy Grove or Reality Falls. Those are very good places to land. So now we're gonna get started with the good weapons. So I would say the meta ARs for this season kind of are the same as last season. It's the Striker AR is the best. I would say followed up by the Ranger, and then the worst AR this season is the Hammer assault rifle, this new gun, the new AR. That's not very great, especially for pretty much any. I think it's alright in arena and with build, but for zero build, the best gun for any playstyle for assault rifles is most definitely Striker. The good thing about Striker is that it's super accurate, where like the Hammer action assault rifle or whatever is not very accurate. So I would recommend using the Striker over every other gun. Now for shotguns, I would say the meta has changed definitely. So last season it was like drum or Striker pump. But now the drum is gone, which is very good because the game was garbage when it was actually really fun when you were the one with it, not fighting it. But yeah, so I would say the meta shotguns right now is the best one is Striker pump. Pretty much all rarities are good except for like gray. It's really not that great. The other good ones, some other really good guns, well, for shotguns, since there's only 3 shotguns, is probably, in my opinion, the 2-shot. It's very good for if you want to do a lot of damage really fast, because with just those 2 shots, you could pretty much take someone out of the game. Now, I would say most definitely the worst shotgun this season right now is the auto shotgun, simply because it doesn't shoot very fast. You have to hit all pellets if it's gonna be useful. Has no range, unlike the Striker pump or the 2-shot. And it's high risk, lower, like, it's just a very risky weapon to use, unless they're like up in people's faces and in their boxes, but that's like in arena only. So like, since I'm talking about zero build, I would say the Striker is the best if you're gonna run a shotgun. Also double SMGs is good. Now let's get started on SMGs. Now personally, in my opinion, both of the SMGs are really good, but I prefer to take the Combat over the Stinger. Unless like I have like a blue Combat and a gold Stinger, like I'm gonna take the Stinger depending on rarity. But like green Combat versus blue Stinger, I'm taking the green Combat. So here is, I guess, some statistics for both. The Stinger does more damage but is less accurate, where the Combat is more accurate but does less damage. Or wait, did I say more damage but less? Or did I say less damage but less accurate? with the Stinger. Well, if I did, I meant to say I meant more damage. Then the combat is more accurate and does less damage. So I would say that the combat is better. Also, for some reason, I feel like the combat SMG has a higher fire rate. Oh, also it's like super satisfying to just beam somebody and then they like, it's so satisfying. Like when you crouch walk up behind somebody who's like completely unsuspecting, and then you just get that beam and it's like one beam and they're dead. Yeah, it's awesome. So as you see, I took the Stinger right there. So yeah. Pretty much another good thing, some more advice. As you see, this is why I don't like the hammer. This is my last experience with the hammer. This guy was an absolute trash can anyways. Like, look, just watch this kill. Let's just stop the video for a second and watch this. He tries to hide behind there. As if that's gonna save him. But, anyways, let's continue with the video. So, where did I leave off? Here is some more tips and tricks. Get familiar with all the chests, like in the location and stuff, so that pretty much you can get a specific loot route. I feel like you can kind of just land on any chest either, but I recommend going for floor loot, and if it's being contested, try and land somewhere else. Only 50-50 if you only 50-50 the gun if you absolutely need to. But I think it's better to try and get more fights, to get into more fights once you're fully looted. So I would say at the beginning of the game, play super aggressive. Mid game, don't play very aggressive. Just focus on rotates, and then towards end game, which is like, I would say third zone and on, I would say mid game is when first zone starts shrinking to the end, to the start of third zone starting to shrink. That's mid game, and then end game is pretty much anywhere after the third zone is done shrinking. After third zone, it's pretty much shoot on sight when I see a different player or another player. Like, sorry, I was up all night, so I'm kind of tired. Another good piece of advice is always stay as close to cover as possible, because you don't even know how many people I've killed in this game. Like, just because they were walking around out in the open. Like, yeah. It's so stupid that people still don't know this. So hopefully those people who I've beat in Fortnite are watching this so that they can get better, and it's less easy for me to get wins consistently, lol. But let's continue. A few pieces of advice is use the reality seeds. Or if you see somebody else's like reality tree or whatever it is, pick the fruits. Those first off are never contested, so if you know that there's gonna be fruits there, or we can see the fruits or whatever, go for it. Like, it gives you really good loot, and you will be at a wicked big advantage over every single player in early game if you get one of those. Especially if you get a purple, gold, or blue one, you're going to be at a significant advantage. You're going to have the superior firepower. Another thing is I recommend to use aim trainers. If you're on PC, I don't actually know what that aim trainer is called, I forgot.
Yes, even reloading.
Oh wait,
first person.
Sorry. Best. So what I use for when is 3D aim trainer if I'm trying to play Minecraft. When I get my PvP skills up, I use 3DAimTrainer.com. That one's pretty good. Also, I think if you're gonna be playing on mouse and keyboard, that one's also pretty good. For controller players, I recommend Scavic's Aim Trainer. It's a Fortnite map. You can find the code on Google. It's a pretty popular map. I would recommend that one. I used to play that a lot. I don't really aim train anymore since I play so much zero build that I kind of hop on a few games of zero build and get my aim good before I go into arena. So zero build's kind of my aim trainer, lol. But continuing on with this video and not going off track, some other great piece of advice is late game. If the game ends on a mountain, try and take over that mountain. Like, try and get up there and, try and hold high ground, because you will get that win. Like, in a few of my games, in one of my games, that mountain by Shifty Shafts, I was up on top of that and it was final circle, and I just kept beaming that guy. That guy's had so many minis, oh my god. I kept cracking the shield over and over and over until the storm started being the moving zones. Another thing is that moving zones are back in public matches. Yay! But I think it starts at 7th zone and not 5th. Yeah, I think it starts at 7th zone and not 5th. But anyway, moving on and not getting off track again. Cow catchers are your best friend in zero build. You can put them on your cars and you get easy loads of damage on people. You can do loads of damage to players when you're driving towards them and driving into them. So they can get you a lot of kills. Also, you can just throw them down without a car, and it's really good cover, especially if you're on high ground during the end games. It definitely helps out a lot so that you can't just get sniped and you can actually be behind some low cover. So that's really good. A few other great things, some good advice is just try and be confident. Be confident. Don't ever think that you're not going to win a fight. Think about what you're going to do during that fight and after the fight. That's why, here's what I usually carry in games. So after a fight, you might get cracked or something. That's why I carry 3 weapons: assault rifle, shotgun, SMG, and then double heals. Usually med mist and minis, because, it's pretty easy to use some minis. And you're going to be 200 after the I don't know what the other shield thing is called. That shield that you start with is called. So, yeah. That's pretty good. That's also another thing here, is that you have to do 250 damage now to kill people, because instead of it just being the 100 health, 100 shield, now you have to deal with those extra 50 shields that everyone's gonna have. So that's not great. Well, it can also save you. As you see, going for beams, even though, Storm Surge doesn't really exist in pubs unless very sweaty public matches, lol. Even though very sweaty public matches don't really exist. But pretty much I do end up getting the kill here. Well, he dies in Storm because I kept holding him, so he had to hide. But that's not the point of this. Also, stay near cover. Okay, I already said that. Sorry, this video isn't scripted. I don't really like to write scripts. Some other good items, I would say take advantage of the fishing rod. I know I don't really use it that much, but it definitely helps. Also, take advantage of tactical sprinting. As you see, he didn't hit me, and I ended up getting the kill. If I didn't tactical sprint, that shot would have hit me, and I most likely would have lost that fight. So that's really a good thing to use tactical sprints. And also take advantage of tactical sliding also. Unfortunately, I did not win this game because I did actually get beamed because I didn't have any cow catchers. But yeah. Well, I think, no, I got sniped by a guy with a DMR, which is coming up in a minute. But pretty much, if you follow all of this advice, you will get a lot more wins. So yeah. Have fun. Also, that's another good thing. Take breaks when you feel like you need it. I would say take a 10-20 minute break every hour so that you can, if you're tilted, you're not going to be tilted anymore after, a 10-20 minute break, around 15 minutes. Not going to be tilted. If you start getting tilted, take a break. That's another good thing. But yeah. Anyways, have a great day, everyone. This is me, Rustic PvPs, signing off.